Hey, good afternoon, Zoe. It's really nice to meet you.
You
Uh,
too?
if you wouldn't mind, I'd like to start by you just telling our audience who you are, naturally, and what book we're going to be talking about this afternoon.
So, my name is Zoe Allen. I am a transgender woman from Cardiff, South Wales. And today we're going to be talking about my debut book, My Momma Zo, which I co wrote with my ex wife, Kelly Allen.
Wonderful. And if you wouldn't mind, if you could give us, and I know it's a horrible term, but kind of your elevator pitch about the book.
So, My Momma Zo is essentially a book about myself coming out as a transgender woman within our little family, told from our daughter Molly's point of view. It talks through different aspects of our characters, whilst some of the challenges we faced, and all about how the family just accepts me for who I am, and it's all about love and acceptance.
Perfect. Perfect. Having read it, that's a brilliant summing up. Thank you very much. Right. Would you mind sharing a few pages of a reading with us? That will be absolutely wonderful.
Sure. So the pages I've chosen are kind of from the middle of the book. It's essentially the moment that I came out. And this is from Molly's point of view. So I have to pretend that I'm Molly. On New Year's Eve, Mommy Cal found out what was wrong. We decorated the house and made lots of tasty treats ready for our party. We'd all dressed up to celebrate, and I thought Momma Zo looked beautiful in her sparkly black dress. Momma Zo cried when she told us how she felt. She thought we'd be upset and wouldn't love her anymore, but I just wanted her to be happy. I asked her whether she'd be wearing sparkly dresses more often, and she smiled and nodded her head, and I do. It felt nice to see her smile again. But Mommy Cal felt worried. She was scared she was going to lose my daddy, but George reminded her that Momma Zo was still the same person inside, except now she's happier than ever before.
Oh, oh,
It's okay.
that's got a lump to my throat, even just listening to that bit. I absolutely should have said this at the beginning. I loved the book.
Oh,
Absolutely
good.
love it.
I'm
And I
glad.
can't wait to share it with my little granddaughter because I couldn't let her have it yet because I wanted it here behind me when I interviewed you. But it will be going over to her very shortly. So this is, of course, your debut picture book. And wow, what a strong start. You know,
Oh,
it's
thank you.
kind of a little bit like follow that, really, Zoe. You know, where you're going to go from here, I'm looking forward to seeing. But what
Okay.
have you been doing up till now?
So for years I've worked in retail. Um, I'm a singer-songwriter as well. And in June 2020, Kelly and I started a handmade jewelry business called Kelso Jewelry, which saw us through lockdown, all the stress that everyone's going through. It was a great way to kind of get our creative ways out. Um, and then, yeah, like through that period, we talked about different tools to address transgender parents and transgender people within families. And there wasn't many books out there that would really address it in a child-friendly way. And we thought, we found a couple like I Am Jazz, Julie and the Mermaid, um, but there wasn't really anything that felt specific to us with a transgender parent. And then literally we were just like, hey, I think it's important that we try and put our story out there. So it's none of it's fictional. It's all real and real things that we all went through. So we just got on and did it, and I'm so glad that we did.
There's a very famous quote about books needing to be both a window and also a mirror for children.
Sure.
And I think My Momma Zo just totally encapsulates that because it's perfect for children that are in that situation, but it's also explanatory for children that aren't. And from my mind, when I was reading it, first thing I thought, I don't know if you've heard of something called Empathy Day.
No.
Empathy Day is in June, and
Okay.
it's a day that is about promoting empathy, but quite primarily really in children and children's books. And your book will be absolutely perfect to use on Empathy Day, and I'll be shouting about it everywhere because I absolutely loved it. Now, the other great beauty, of course, of any picture book is the illustrations. And I've got to say, Tara O'Brien's illustrations are, well, they're just a bright and beautiful triumph, aren't they, in My Momma Zo?
Yeah, I think she really captured our colourful family in a very universally friendly way.
Yeah.
I think it's such a beautiful book, and she's really enforced the message behind the words.
Excellent. Okay, and that what leads me to my next question, and which you've actually partly answered. So, the way she drew the characters, was that how they were in your head? I'm always interested in that, whether it's
Yeah, I don't know. It's strange. I think when you write something that's fictional and you create a character, then you envisage what the characters would look like. She's based these characters off how we look,
yeah,
so they are quite true representations of us. I mean, my hair's straight these days, but it was often very curly
yeah.
and wild, like it is in the thing. Again, Molly's hair is beautiful and curly and insane. And it just, I think the way that she represented us was very true to us, but also very relatable. And I think she did such a good job.
I love the illustrations. Absolutely gorgeous. Okay, so let's ask a more personal question. What does Molly think about the book? Does she like it?
I think she really likes it. She's autistic, so she does sometimes find it difficult to express some of her feelings.
Yeah.
Um, but I think she's proud. She's proud that she's part of it, and she's proud that we've done it.
Excellent, excellent. Well, she certainly should be, because, as I say, I was blown away by it. It is one of my favourite picture books so far this year. And believe me, I don't say that lightly. I do read quite a lot of picture books, quite a lot of picture books. It has to be. So, when you're thinking about picture books, because obviously we are talking about picture books, was there any other picture book creators that you were influenced by, or that you particularly looked up to?
I mean, the one that really stands out to me is Julie Donaldson, because I know her books are very rhyming, which is fine, but the creative worlds and the imagination that she sparks with the stories that she puts out there really connected with us as parents reading to our children and to the children as well when they were listening. So it was always fun in those early days when we would read to them every night, waiting for that new book so that we could go, oh, look at this great new character and this great new world. So I think from a visual perspective, certainly the Julie Donaldson books are fantastic.
When I was doing a little bit of research online earlier, and I was looking at My Momma Zo, I seemed to mention another book. So is there something else coming?
Yes, there is. I'm not too sure how much I can give away. It's very strange, but there is there is a follow up from Kelly and I. I'm not too sure of the date yet. That's not been confirmed. Possibly later in the year or early next year. But that is going to be very similar vein from Molly's perspective, all about George. So yes, because George has been misgendered quite a lot because he grew up very as a pretty boy essentially with very long beautiful hair, and he got misgendered a lot and he didn't like it, and he taught us some very good messages that we can portray in the same sort of way. So yeah,
Perfect. Absolutely perfect. And it's interesting to me that you have mentioned some of my favourite books that have come out in the last few years. You mentioned Julian is a Mermaid, which is fabulous, absolutely fabulous. But I couldn't agree more. We've not got enough representation.
definitely
It's not in books for younger children.
no.
Which is, where we need it. So, not just a fantastic story, because it does read very well. It's just a story, but also a very important book. So, thank you. Thank you for writing it, definitely.
Oh, thank you. I mean, I think one of the important things to me is creating visibility in a understandable way and a way that you can connect with. And children's picture books is just a perfect way to do that because not only are the children and obviously the adults of the future gaining an insight and gaining something that they can connect with if they feel that way, or like you're saying, a window into other people's worlds. But I think for the parents, for teachers, for other adults to see that it's okay to be different sometimes when they don't necessarily understand, I think that is equally as important.
Yes, and what I thought was very, very important was that the book isn't just positive.
Mm-hmm.
And it does mention the fact that some people didn't understand and some people struggled with it. And I think that's important as well, because,
Definitely.
you know, obviously it needs to be acknowledged. Some people do struggle with it. Goodness only knows why, but some people do struggle with it. And so it's good for children to know that, you know, if they are different, they might come across people that don't agree with them, but that's fine.
It is.
Absolutely fine.
Because you will hopefully gain a lot of support and a lot of love from people around you, from new people. But some people just do find it difficult to accept that everyone's different. And it's sad, but, you know, with the right support and right love around you, then it'll be all right.
Do you know, that's words to live by, really, isn't it, Zoe? Goodness me, I'm going to have to use that as my quote. Use that as my quote from this interview. Absolutely wonderful. Now, I'm going to just, because your background's a bit blurred, I'm just going to take my copy down.
Sure.
And I'm just going to show it to camera so that people can see it. See, now I've spotted something.
Mm-hmm.
Those earrings you've got in on.
So when
Fabulous.
When the book came out, I decided, with my jewelry company, to launch some My Momma Zo earrings, so that people, if they were interested, could wear them, but so that I could wear them. Really, more than anything. I love big earrings and bright, colourful earrings. And then when Tara drew these star and lightning bolts, I was like, I've got to make some of those.
Yeah, perfect. Perfect inspiration, isn't it? And they'll be wonderful to wear if you end up doing any school visits.
Yes, yeah.
They will be very much appreciated, I would think. Okay, well, I think, yeah, we are just about out of time. These interviews always go so quickly and it's so awful. But thank you so much for talking to me today. I'm sure everybody is going to be absolutely over the moon with this book. I just loved it. I really did. So thank you so much for talking to us, Zoe. And best of luck with the future one. And we'll be looking forward to seeing it, because that's intriguing now.
Yes.
It's always difficult, isn't it? Because you don't know how much you're allowed to give away. About
I know. And I got so much going on in my life that it's just like, oh, can I say this? Can I say that? Like,
yeah, did I check that? Am I allowed to say that? But anyway, very much looking forward to seeing it. So thank you very much.
Thank you so much.